Good afternoon. I'm Lewis Bowen, and I'm not a scientist. I am merely a person who loves a challenge, loves to solve problems, and I consider myself a conscious capitalist. I want to ask you a question. Which of these, HIV and AIDS, malaria, or indoor air pollution, do you think is the biggest problem and causes the most deaths per year? Any guesses? Malaria, indoor air pollution. Saw it earlier? Yeah, good. Thanks for that one. HIV and AIDS, 1.5 million deaths a year. Malaria, 627,000 deaths a year. Indoor air pollution, 4.3 million deaths a year. And a little-known fact globally. It's something I didn't know. When I found out, I was shocked. And I was shocked there was not more being done. So in my last few months of university, I set up a business to tackle this. Now, when you consider the problem and the fact that 3 billion people cook on open fires in their kitchen every day, every hour you burn an open fire in your kitchen is like smoking 400 cigarettes every hour. And with 3 billion people across the world, that's a lot of cigarettes. I met a crazy bloke with a beard in 2011 that has a huge passion for humanity. And he introduced me to the story of Makaliso from Malaya Lea in Lesotho. Now, Makaliso is like any other mother in the world. She cares for a family. She does everything she can for them, but she's got some significant challenges in her way.
Where has the firewood come from?
And
who collects the firewood? So how many hours would she go to collect the wood? On her own?
On her own, yes.
And how long would that amount of firewood last to cook for? Does she use any other fuels? Does she think that there are a lot more or a lot less trees in the area to collect wood now?
She says,
Does she worry that their trees will be gone one day?
So Makaliso, by using wood every day, is subjected to harmful pollutants that are very damaging to her health. The pollutants like fine particulate matter, or soot, and carbon monoxide. These can cause pneumonia, COPD, and have adverse effects on pregnancy. So, what's the answer? Are there any chemists in the room? Yeah? C2H5OH. You never thought you'd be having a chemistry lesson today, did you? What is it? Ethanol. Absolutely. So ethanol, or as if the students in the room, alcohol, the stuff that you drink, is actually very versatile. Unlike fossil fuels, you've got to take out the ground with dire consequences to the environment, mentioning no names, BP. Ethanol can be fermented anywhere in the world. And because it can be fermented anywhere in the world, it makes it extremely versatile as an energy source. Not only can it be fermented anywhere in the world, but it can be fermented from a variety of feedstocks. So you all had sandwiches at lunchtime today. It can be fermented from that. It can be fermented from pineapples. Now, the reason I say pineapples is I met another crazy bloke. Crazy blokes have great ideas. This is Moses, and he grows pineapples in Uganda on an island called Busi Island on Victoria Lake, or Lake Victoria. And those pineapples, he makes dried pineapples and sells them to Western societies, sells them to Japan. And when you've made those dried pineapples, there's waste. And that waste has sugars. That sugar you can make ethanol out of. So it will take you about 2 seconds on Google to figure out that we're running out of oil. It's predicted that 2052 is the year that we will run out of oil, 2088 for coal. Now, what you will not find is that we're running out of gin and vodka. And there's good reason for that. And I think there'd probably be more climate change action if we were running out of gin and vodka. The reason that we're not running out of gin and vodka is because alcohol is renewable. And it's a fantastic source of renewable energy. Now, because of that, in 2011, I wanted to harness the powers of ethanol. Ethanol can be a liquid, like this. It can be made into a gel. It can also be made into a solid, which we've most recently done. But when we started, we made it into a gel. So I came out of university, and I took 2 of my friends that had no idea what I was doing. And I coerced them into coming into a factory with me. And we made a gel that was non-toxic, smokeless, and clean burning. We got the machinery, and we set up something that looked like a scene from Breaking Bad. But we'd failed. And why had we failed? We'd gone in, we thought we could make a product that could solve this global problem. We thought we'd done it overnight. We thought, we'll be out by Christmas, we've solved global climate change. Great, fantastic, everyone go home. What we hadn't considered is the complexity and time needed to do so. When I came out of university, within 2 months, in this humble factory in Sheffield, where we were making our product, it's very easy to make a liquid into a gel, we had governments in, we had royalty in. This was an empty factory in the middle of Sheffield, and I was 23 years old. I'd signed a memorandum of understanding with a government. Oh, great, 23 years old, I've signed an agreement with a whole government. Meant nothing. We hadn't solved the problem. What was wrong is we hadn't considered the complexities of getting projects live in Africa. We hadn't considered the fact that we needed infrastructure. We hadn't considered the economics of an idea. So we talk about our future is born on an idea. That idea needs to be considered in terms of its economics, otherwise it just doesn't work. So we took the business and we took the idea and we nearly went bust in 2013. So we had to change our approach. And that approach was to bring it back to the UK. So we still had the vision to solve the problems of 4.3 million deaths a year. But we took our gel to the UK and we looked at markets that we were slightly easier and changed our approach. And we looked to make our products, and by selling them, we could start projects in Africa. And that's worked. Not only can we start projects in Africa off the things we sell, but we've actually solved challenges in the UK and Europe. Something that when we started getting closer to the UK, we saw actually bigger problems closer to home. Methylated spirits, toxic, and when it spills, it's a huge problem. And we've got DV and Scouts using this to cook some beans on. Doesn't make sense. Let's make these fuels safer. But what does this mean for Macaliso, that original story, and why we're impacting? Well, what that means is for every product we sell, we can donate part of the profits. And by saying donate part of the profits, it doesn't mean just giving money away. It means starting projects that are sustainable. With Macaliso, she spent 16 hours a week. 16 hours a week hunting for wood as fuel. Now that's 832 extra hours a year if we solve her problem of hunting for that fuel. 600 hours it takes, on average, for research from the US to become completely numerate, at a basic level, numerate and literate. Now, if Macaliso was numerate and literate, she could start a business, selling fuel, making fuel, and provide for a community. So, by that small idea of ethanol, turning it into a gel to solve her problem of hunting for wood for 16 hours a week, we could change society. And it doesn't take an economics expert to figure out if you make someone healthier, stronger, and more educated, the whole of society benefits. When Henry Ford was making the Model T, he had a choice. He could use fossil fuels to power it or biofuels. Now, hands up who's got a car. Do you put petrol in it or diesel? Petrol and diesel. It's a fossil fuel. If he decided back then to put a biofuel into the car, we'd all be driving around in cars fueled by biofuel. So all of you here today, you've all got ideas. Think about that, how those ideas impact the world like we do with our products. Thank you very much.